But now we're going to switch to Gerald Celente, trendsresearch.com. Of course, Gerald needs no introduction. He's been on the show many times before. And we're going to talk to him today about a number of different issues. Gerald, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I just want to mention, Paul, that I really appreciate your work. I admire what you write, and I follow you daily on Infowars.com when your postings are up there along with the others. So I just want to let you know how much I admire your work.
Appreciate that, Gerald. I'm a big fan of the Trends Research Journal. Obviously, you've been so accurate in many of your predictions, not just over the last few years, but literally going back decades. We're going to list some of those later. But one of your most recent topics was, of course, Syria, following fools blindly into war again and again. You know, last year we had huge opposition to a potential intervention in Syria back after the chemical weapons attack in 2013. Now with ISIS on the table, the opinion polls seem to suggest that Americans have shifted. Now most of them support the attack on Syria in the name of defeating ISIS. What do you think is the explanation behind that shift in public opinion?
Well, propaganda is a good business to get into. You could do it cheaply and get great results. Let's go back, and tracking trends is an understanding of where we are, how we got here, and where we're going. So how did we get here? Well, most recently we got here, and you mentioned that the Obama administration wanted to send bombs away into Syria over a year ago, but because of Putin and pushing for Syria to get rid of their chemical weapons, and the United Kingdom's parliament not going along with it, Congress also not going along with the administration back down. So now, how did it happen? Well, all of a sudden, Obama shows up. We got to save them Christians on the mountain. You remember that one? Those Yazidis. Everybody knows what a Yazidi is. You got one living around the block from you. And everybody, oh, this isn't, we're not going back into Iraq. I want to make this perfectly clear. This is a humanitarian mission, girls and boys. So you got the setup, right? Now, all of a sudden, they behead two guys. Oh, Maron, hey, you beheaded two guys. What evil, sick people. Who would behead two guys? Now, how about, was it over 1 million people that the United States and its coalition of the willing have killed in Iraq and Afghanistan since the war on terror began, and we had to get rid of Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda that didn't exist? You could bomb them, that's cool, man, but no beheadings. What happened over there in Gaza? 2,100 people. What's going on over in Ukraine? They're only Eastern European Russians. You could bomb them, kill them, but don't behead anybody. And everybody bought the beheading baloney. Oh, yeah, you're really evil when you behead people. Hey, another drone strike over there in Yemen. Shoo! Hey, how many in South Waziristan and North Waziristan from the Nobel Peace Prize winner, who is quoted as saying, hey, I'm really good at killing people. So you could drone, you could bomb, you could napalm, you could Agent Orange, you could deplete uranium, white phosphorus, but no beheadings. And everybody bought the beheading baloney. Go back to your country. Go back to the end of August. That little chicken hawk Cameron shooting off his mouth. Oh, now we got a terror alert. Terror alert. How about the clown over there in Australia, Abbott, the other part of Costello? Oh, yeah, terror alert. 800 cops to arrest 15 people, and they only got one up on charges of nothing. But it works. You spread fear and hysteria, and that's what they're playing, man. The fear and hysteria card, and 73% of the American people are buying it, along with a lot of the Brits and the Australians and other so-called Westerners.
And talking about beheadings, Gerald, I mean, Saudi Arabia, they've beheaded more people in the last month alone than ISIS ever had, simply because of their brutal justice system which has been in place for generations. And of course Saudi Arabia were one of the countries that funded the so-called moderate Syrian rebels who sold weapons to ISIS, who defected to ISIS in huge numbers back around 6 months to a year ago. Now we're talking about the Obama administration again arming these so-called moderate Syrian rebels, even though many of the units there have pledged allegiance not only to al-Qaeda groups like Jabhat al-Nusra, but also to ISIS units themselves, and given them weapons and actually handed over some of the individuals that were allegedly beheaded, the American journalist James Foley. So, Gerald, how do you feel about the hypocrisy of, you know, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Qatar being involved in this so-called war on ISIS when they were responsible for the upspring of ISIS in the region in the first place?
Well, exactly. That's why I follow your work, by the way. You put it together very well, and you laid out all the facts. And the other fact is that nobody's talking about in the major media, the mainstream media, is that, hey, who created these conditions? Who destroyed entire nations? Who killed millions of people? Who laid the groundwork for the radicalism? Now, let's take it, anybody out there, yourself, myself, anyone listening, you live in Iraq, or a neighboring country like Syria. Oh, by the way, just going back to Obama before I go ahead, you know, he was yelling about those Christians on the mountain over there in Syria, but the cat had lockjaw when they were slaughtering Christians, those ISIS people that you were mentioning that the Arab Little League funded. When they wiped out entire Christian villages in Syria, destroyed ancient Christian villages in Syria, but that was okay. So now fast forwarding to where we are. Here you live in one of these countries, everybody that you love has been killed. You have no future. You didn't have enough money to get out of there, but the people that did, the tens of millions that left, you know, they saw what was coming. Your whole nation is destroyed. The place is in ruins. You think you want to get even for the people that did it for you? No, man. You is a radical. You're a fundamentalist and a terrorist. Don't you know that it's better for you to listen to the occupiers and the puppets, the corrupt puppets that they put in place to run and ruin your life, than to think for yourself and to be on your own? So no one's talking about the war criminals that started these wars based on lies. B.S. Blair, Dick Cheney, Bush, Rumsfeld, Colin Powell, Condoleezza Rice, all the ones that sold these wars based on lies. Or maybe they got a better word in that white shoe world. They misled us. Isn't that a nice word? So what I'm saying to you, Paul, they created conditions for this horror, and now the same madmen and mad women that got it going, we got a new plan, new strategies. We're going to fix it this time. They have nothing but track records of failure behind them, and now they're shooting off their mouths. Every retired general, military strategist, think tank expert are showing up on the news and telling us, hey, here's what we got to do. We got to do this, we got to do that, when all they have is failure and disaster as a track record of credentials. They're leading us, as we wrote before in the Trends Journal, to the first great war of the 21st century. It's underway.
And you mentioned that, again, the airstrikes flooding the region with weapons. I mean, we have this false dichotomy being imposed on us. You know, Obama is being weak on ISIS. We hear that from Fox News and a lot of the right-wing media. When every single statistical academic study has proven that flooding the Middle East with weapons and carrying out airstrikes radicalizes the region and creates more terrorists. This is a known fact. It's not conjecture. You know, this idea of, oh, we have to be strong, we have to bomb them out of existence. It doesn't work. It only ever creates more resentment. It radicalizes the region, creates more terrorists. I mean, look at Obama in Libya, funding the radical jihadists. They later went into Syria. Now those secular governments, Gaddafi, Assad, have been destabilized. We're seeing this radical jihadist militant ideology spread across the region, and it's a deliberate result of the airstrikes, of flooding the region with weapons. We'll be back after the break with Gerald Celente. This is the Alex Jones Show, live, Infowars.com. Keep it right there.
My Magic Mud is a tooth whitening powder that removes plaque and detoxifies your mouth. It's safe for your enamel, giving you a beautiful polish and a dentist-like clean after every use. My Magic Mud is also the perfect remedy for pain caused by sensitivity. It strengthens your teeth and gums for a strong, healthy smile. The ingredients are 100% natural and it's safe for children. Simply brush with My Magic Mud right before bedtime for a cleaning you can count on. Visit mymagicmud.com.
Are you ready to surrender your right to buy body armor? No joke. Congress is now trying to outlaw civilian body armor. And if House Bill H.R. 5344 becomes law, you can kiss your right to protect yourself against rifle bullets goodbye. Don't put off your body armor purchase any longer. Go now to infidelbodyarmor.com. Thousands of military veterans trust their lives to Infidel Body Armor. You should too. Spelled INFIDEL. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Mike Stenerson for Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
What it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like
The Alex Jones Show Live. I'm Paul Joseph Watson, filling in for Alex Jones. I'm joined by Gerald Celente, trendsresearch.com. We're going to take a few of your calls for Gerald at 1-800-259-9231. That's 1-800-259-9231. We got Gerald's website up here, Trends Research Institute, and if you click on the left-hand side,